Hi, it's Joyce, Energy Lady. I want to share a story today because something really cool happened last week with a client. I'd been working with him for a while, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And he was just getting ready to enlist in the service and was waiting until he got his physical before he passed to get in and get accepted. And so while he was at work last week, he tripped and twisted his ankle, and it actually, whatever he hit, cut through the boot, cut his ankle. And he called me and I said, well, get in this afternoon. As soon as you get back from work, come on in. And so I worked with him that night, and I did some energy cleansing on his ankle, and he had it all wrapped with, the wrapping and the cold pack and everything. And it was very swollen and it was bruised and it was cut on the ankle. And when I finished, I said, does it feel better? He said, yeah, it feels better. And I said, okay, now let the body start to heal. Because this is what happens. Things happen in our energy field. And one of the first things I told him when he told me what he did, I said, forgive yourself for doing it. Because he immediately went into a panic. The panic was, if I have an injury, I won't be able to pass my physical and get into the service. And that was a major concern for him. And so he'd been waiting for this for months. So I said, say forgiveness for yourself for doing this. Say forgiveness for yourself for being afraid that you wouldn't pass the physical. Say forgiveness for your fear that has overtaken you. And so after he did that, when he came in and I worked on his ankle, the next day, and he hobbled into the office, okay? The very next day, he was walking around on it. Swelling was down, no bruising. The cut was just a minor scratch. And then I worked on him again the next day. And then the 2 days after, it was as if nothing had happened. I know that sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? Kind of woo-woo. But that's what happens when you take care of an injury right after it happens. It hasn't had time to set in the body for a long time. Now, people who get hurt and that injury has been in the body for months or even years, I can help them with that. It just takes a little longer because it's been in the body longer. So with him having just hurt his ankle that very night, and I worked on it the very same night that he hurt it, then I was able to help that heal because I cleaned off all the energy. Now the body can heal. Body is remarkable. This isn't a remarkable machine that God made, and he made it to heal itself. It just doesn't know what to do with this energy around us. So you got this energy field around us, and this energy is created from these thoughts. And that's why I had him say forgiveness for himself, because his immediate thought was, oh my gosh, no, this can't happen. I'm not going to pass my physical, which was 5 days away from the moment that he hurt himself. And his first thoughts were, this is terrible. This is like the last thing that should happen to me. So I had to have him forgive himself for all those thoughts, because those thoughts created a negative energy. And then, of course, the body started to believe that. So anyway, he was fine. He did the physical, he passed, and he got sworn into the service. So that was pretty exciting. I was really thrilled over that. Another incident was when I was going for a walk with a good close friend of mine who's in her 80s. She's been having back issues. And in talking, she said, I used to tell myself when I turn 80, I'll slow down. I'll do this. I'll quit coloring my hair. And I said, well, have you slowed down? She says, no, but this back thing has made me slow down. And I said, well, then you need to say forgiveness for yourself for telling yourself you were going to slow down, but you didn't. But your body heard you say that years ago, so it's creating that for you. It is setting you up now to not do what you used to do because you told it you were going to slow down. So what we tell ourselves, our bodies adopt to that. And so if you're telling yourself something, your body's going to adapt to whatever you're telling it. And in her situation, it was adopting to what she told it years ago. So a lot of forgiveness work to be done there, and did the energy cleansing on her. And then she started walking again without having to stop and take breaks, which was pretty awesome. So those are just a couple of stories that I've had in doing the healing work this last week, and I love it. I love what it does. If you've got some issues that you need help cleared up, message me, book a session online, and let me help. Talk to you later.